we have come up with some marketing solutions to, I guess, bring the returning customer back to the Cinema Center. My name is Taylor. This is Brendan, Weston, Maggie, Amanda, Sarah, and Brenna. Amanda is going to start us off with street group advertisements.
Alright guys, so the great thing about these street group advertisements are that they're gaining popularity throughout the nation, but we're not really seeing them in Fort Wayne. So it'll be something new for Cinema Center to get their name out there. It not only grabs people's attention from its uniqueness, but it also gives an opportunity for strategic placement throughout the city. That way, Cinema Center can put these in areas where their target demographic usually congregates. We foresee this being in areas such as the Tin Cap Stadium, near Glenbrook Mall, as well as one of the corners of Calhoun and William Street. Also, these are 24 by 36 inches big, so they're pretty large and they can last for up to a year. Another great advertising element for the Cinema Center would be small sticker decals for vehicles. You guys actually have these in your budget considerations packet if you want to check them out. The great thing about these is that they're very low cost. They gain support and loyalty within your customer base, as well as becoming a free form of advertising for the Cinema Center. Your customers can just simply put them on their vehicles and drive around with your name, and everyone's going to see it. This is also something that the Cinema Center can sell, therefore becoming a profitable product to you. IPFW actually has a vinyl cutter on campus, so we suggest that by having an IPFW intern, they can actually design any additional graphics that you would like for this. They can cut them for you and get the vinyl to you at a lower cost. As well as being able to do vinyl cuts for you, an IPFW intern can also update any monthly marketing material or anything you need as you need it.
Our next proposal is the city bus advertisement through Blue Line Media. With a minimalist ad design and 5 proposed routes throughout the city, this provides an opportunity for Cinema Center to increase its audience base in Fort Wayne, generating roughly 7,000 to 9,000 views per ad per day at approximately 5 cents a view. These 5 routes can be modified as you guys see fit to reach your demographic. The direct mailer qualifies as our traditional form of marketing. With proposal routes through the 46802, 46807, and 46825 area codes. 46825 being Carmike Cinema's backyard. The illustration itself is done by one of our very own IPFW design students. Additional information included on the direct mailer is information on how to become a Cinema Center member, our proposed Snappy Rewards, and the Cinema Center Rewards card. Snappy Rewards is similar to that of Groupon, but it's local, and it's seen rapid growth in its first year of development. It is a mobile-based website which generates coupons and promotions for the Cinema Center. And it's with a 20-mile search radius. It will provide information. It will involve and inform local moviegoers of upcoming events and promotions.
All right, now as Brendan mentioned in the mailer, we're going to have a coupon. This is the coupon you see here. This coupon is going to be brought with the moviegoer to their movie, and they're going to pay for their movie, and what they get back is a ticket. But with this coupon, they give that to the cashier. They're also going to get a plastic Cinema Center rewards card. So this plastic card is going to have 5 icons on it, and each of those stands for a punch that you get when you buy a movie ticket. So what's going to happen is you're going to bring your rewards card with you, and you're going to get a punch. But you're also going to have that card when you go home. You're going to think about it. It's going to be in your wallet, it's going to be in your purse, it's going to be in your pocket. So you'll remember the Cinema Center even when you're not here. We have budgeted 500 of these, and more can be obtained as needed. And how about dinner and a movie? That's just what we tapped into with our table tent brochures. These table tents will be in eateries all around Fort Wayne, appealing to people at their dining table. What's going to happen is they'll be setting up and showing the culture of Cinema Center, the movies that are available, the website that they can go to on their smartphone, and a map that they can go to right after dinner. What's great about this is that local eateries have already expressed their interest in showing for Cinema Center. They're very interested in helping the cause of Cinema Center. And with that, we have New Haven Print and Copy is going to produce these. They're going to cut them out, score them, and have peel and stick tape for easy assembly so that we can get them dispersed simply. And confirmed table tent hosts include Firefly Cafe, Triangle Park, Pint and Slice, and Bravas. And Bravas is even mentioned possibly making a burger theme around Cinema Center.
Now, outside of the building, there are a couple things that need to be addressed. One of them is parking. Yes, there's a sizable parking lot, but unless you know it's there, it's easy to miss. So what we propose is that a permanent parking sign be installed. Now, luckily, your parking lot is zoned as DE, which is downtown edge, which means you have more leeway to do things with signs than some other people do, including going up to 80 square feet big, if that's how big you want your parking sign. We don't think a sign quite that big is necessary, but we feel that a 3-foot by 8-foot sign would be sufficient. The sign would be made of aluminite, which is a durable material that works well outdoors. It would also be double-sided. So each side would be black, and the text would be printed in a reflective white material so you would have visibility at night. Now, to conform with code rules, it would have a 5-foot setback. Also, the post would be set 2 foot deep. This puts it below the frost line of 18 inches and also provides extra stability because it is such a big sign. So we propose that the sign sit at 8 foot high. That is the max it can sit at in your zoning area. At 8 foot high, this means any traffic passing by that does not intend to park there can see through and around it, so it's not a hazard, so you avoid problems with the city this way. It also means that people driving by looking for the parking space can see it very clearly from any directions. And additionally, if anyone were to park near or around it, it's still very visible. Another thing that needs addressed is the marquee. It's very unique, it's very interesting, but because of the historical value of the building and because of zoning, it obviously can't be changed too much. One thing we can do is we can make a large vinyl white decal of the Cinema Center logo and place it in the circular portion. This updates your sign and can be cost-free because, as was mentioned earlier, we do have a vinyl cutter. So with the help of an IPFW intern, it can be designed, cut, and put in place for free, and it negates the cost of installation fees as well.
Okay, we don't think that the Cinema Center is getting the attention it deserves because you guys are just hard to find. For people who haven't been to the Cinema Center or aren't really familiar with downtown, it's a little difficult to figure out where you're at. So we think that graphics on your large windows will really help bring appeal as well as increase your curb appeal. It'll help people to better find your location. We incorporated a large film reel so that is running around the corner of your building so anyone who is walking by there can be directed towards your front entrance. We also made sure not to completely cover the windows because we want you to be able to utilize that space and advertise your movies that you have upcoming.
So we are proposing that along Clay in the windows that 4 light boxes be assembled. We have already contacted a contractor that will be able to assemble these for you. These will give the posters a nice clean look from the outside, and they will be backlit, so it'll also be easier to locate, especially at night, and it'll give more of that appeal. And with the added attention to the outside, this also addresses attention to the inside, so it'll have to be kept neat and tidy.
We suggest a website update. This will give a subtle facelift to your current website to make it a little more straightforward and user-friendly. We have an example of the homepage on the screen. At the top of the page, there'll be a countdown until your next movie showing to give a little interaction, followed by a feature box that'll showcase upcoming events or current events going on down at the Cinema Center. Also, what movies are currently debuting down at the Cinema Center, along with what days and movie times, and along with ticket prices. This will help to remove some of the clutter from your other pages, and this can all be done for free with an IPFW intern. We also put together a social media guide for you. This will help you to utilize Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn to the best of your ability. All of you have an example of the social media guide in front of you. It'll tell you the do's and don'ts of social media, such as best times to post, when and what to post.
Great. With these proposed changes, we have budgeted $7,681.40. We hope you plan to take these marketing solutions into effect this late spring season. Do you have any questions for us?
singular pad vendors or locations do this, are they getting any compensation for it, or is it just a, hey, we'd love to help out?
Well, I actually was one who called them, and upon calling them, I was like, first question, you know what the Cinema Center is? And immediately they said, oh yeah, we love the Cinema Center, it's great. Over at Bravos, they're like, yeah, I think it's a great place. So they were eager to help, and Triangle Park does a lot with IPFW, but the other places, they said, yeah, no cost.
I really like the idea of going after competitors in the Fort Wayne area, and just like you said, I mean, it's right in Ray's background or backyard or wherever by Regal up on Coldwater or whatever. I mean, that's such a great approach to send out. I mean, we haven't really heard that, but to send out direct mail pieces, not just to the demographic of 18 to 35, but to those areas and hit those areas so hard. And I mean, that's just a really great, man, you got that. You're like, well, I know I've got a theater a few blocks away, but I want to go check out this other place. It's just a really good strategy.
The street drift is that's great. Especially, you can partner with downtown district, or how many walks and things do we do now downtown, and especially everywhere from the Wells corridor to downtown. Finding the hot zips, so to speak, the places where you want to get that traffic. But the other idea is, put them in the mall. Especially if you're Jefferson Point Mall, and you know that, or not Jefferson, Glenbrook, and you know that Jefferson has a movie theater. You don't have a movie theater. Go ahead, man. Go down to Cinema Center. That's great.
So this is a social media guide?
Yes.
I assume you left it out of the presentation for timing. What are your top 1 or 2 recommendations in here? I mean, we'll definitely read through it, but
Definitely Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Those are definitely the top 3. And those tell you all the ins and outs and fun facts and ways to get more followers, likes, and everything.
so is this just sort of like a general recommendation for social media?
General recommendation, but you could also have as an intern, you could have the intern run all of your social media, so that way that's just one person focusing on it, and they can do all their time to that.
Okay.
I did have one question. You guys mentioned your vinyl covers and your interns and things like that. What if somehow that were not available to us? Or what if, it seems like a lot of it is based on utilizing the interns.
We provide interns continually for many places like Sweetwater. I know I personally did my internship there, and there are several students specifically from our program who have done Sweetwater internships, but it's something that we provide continually all the time. So it's normal for IPFW to consistently provide an intern for a location if it is something they're interested in.
I have a question and a comment. I love the focus on the sign in the parking lot. It's so funny how a little thing like that, I think, could have a huge impact, but I was just curious to know in your lineup of priorities, like, was that a real high priority for you? Is it just something that you automatically saw that we were lacking, or did you know that?
Right, I think we all agreed that there have been parking issues. The first time I came, I parked in the wrong place because you would think the parking lot attached to the building was the appropriate place. Even today, granted it's okay to park there today, but everyone parked there. We noticed our team was the only team who parked over in the actual parking space.
I did it because it looks like it could be like a wastewater treatment plant.
Right, so it doesn't, and with it being, across the road, but this way, if they see it and they park there, they don't get to the door and see the sign that says, hey, don't, make sure you're not parking out here, and then have to get back in the car and move it again. And we just see it as something that eliminates frustration. And it's also a thing, like, it's just an extra thing with the logo and the name. So it's an extra sign saying Cinema Center is here, but it serves a dual purpose of saying, but please park here.
Yeah, it was interesting that you had parking so big, and maybe a little work on that. Maybe some of the center's a little bigger and parking. But I love that thought because you're right. I mean, you immediately comes your first time you have any frustration at a date night or your first time here. God, I'm going back because I just couldn't figure out the parking. I had to move my car 3 times.
It also places you closer to the entrance. Like, you're not trying to guess which side of the building to enter on, especially if you're seeing, as Amanda talked about, the window decals with the film strip leading you around and things.
Sure.
It's just another way to direct you towards the door with less confusion.
What was the maximum size possible for that sign? Like 80 feet?
8 square feet is the maximum size you can go in a DE district. Also, 8 foot is as high as it can go. And you can have one sign per 300 feet of frontage. So we kind of took all that into consideration. Also pricing, the sign itself, most of that material comes in 8-foot sheets. So you're already eliminating costs of extra cuts and extra binding. And all of that, what we budgeted for it included the posts, installation, and the hardware.
You could make it a billboard, parking feels different here.
There's also some limitations on billboards for the area, but with it being 80 square feet, you're borderlining something billboardish. So you could push it to that limit if you desire. There's some nipples, and at that size, currently you don't have to apply for a variance for that sign, which is a whole other hassle. I'm sure some of you have been through that process. But with it being that size and with it following those rules, you eliminate the 3 different meetings and hearings and stuff you have to go through downtown.
I was unclear about your suggestion for the window light boxes. Can you just better describe?
Yeah, it'll fit the standard 27 by 40 movie posters that they have in there now.
Okay.
Yep. And
So
then,
you would build a light box and put the poster in
yeah,
it?
so
and
one
swap
in
them
each
out,
window
but then-
cell.
So then they
hang in
face-
the window?
Yep,
they
they hang in the window. They'll be able to be more organized. They'll be lit up, so people will be able to see it all the time.
Easily replaceable.
Yes, very easy. Yeah.
There'd be two pieces that it slid between, so you could
Okay.
away from the light and away from, so they would slide in and be removable very easily.
And it kind of takes you back to the Art Link days with the illuminated corners.
Yeah.
One question I have about the street drift, since it is kind of a new thing, is there any information as far as like how likely people are, say if you're at Glenbrook and you see it, to actually, I'm going to take notice of this and check out this organization that this is advertising?
I think because it's something so different and that we don't normally see when you're walking over, and it's pretty sizable, you're thinking, what is this? So you look down and see an ad on the floor rather than all over around you. I think it makes it creative and unique in the way that you don't see it very often.
Yeah, but there isn't any like actual data about like impressions or anything like
No,
that?
no,
I mean, you
it's a
said
new,
this is kind of new.
it's a new upcoming way of advertising, so.
Yeah, it would be a risk of sorts, but you'd also right now be the first ones in town to do it.
Yeah, I was curious.
And it's also, she said, it could just be a one time a year cost, which we try to do a lot of things that were not reoccurring costs, like the parking sign and the window decals and the light boxes and things. Those are one-time purchases. So it might take a larger part of the budget for some pieces, but it's not a monthly occurrence.
So you're going to capture the people who always look down.
Nice work.
Well done.